good evening, good all the things. Hi, I'm wishing you all the good vibes. I am Katie Brannon, and this is Tea Time True Crime with Katie. I see we have new subscribers. Hi, welcome. I'm Katie. Welcome to our true crime community, my beautiful true crime kitty cats. So if this is your kind of thing or you're fascinated by it, like, subscribe, and share. Awesome. So tonight's story, if you guys are just listening, I'm kind of dressed up. I am wearing my glitterified blazer that I wore on one New Year's Eve because this queen that I'm going to talk about needs to be celebrated. She was the epitome of badass. Like, no joke. Plus, I will post it. There's a picture of her wearing a glitterified blazer, but it was black, which I would like that one. Okay, thank you. So this story, and this crime is completely devastated. And warning, I'm going to have trigger warnings for domestic violence. Now, domestic violence is a huge problem. We all know that. And apparently, because of this high profile death of this amazing person, which I will talk about, there may be an Amie's Law. Yes. And the law may be where they may get rid of expiration dates on restraining orders, and they will have harsher sentences for stalkers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, or whoever you identify with, this is a stalking case. This is an absolutely terrifying stalking case. Now, if it's your first time here, this is a different kind of vibe. It's a really good vibe. I have white candles lit behind me. I have a happy pumpkin over here. We have gorgeous crystal wings. Just a very good vibe. I have light up amethyst lights right behind me. Just a really, really good vibe. Tonight's tea, my partner made it, and I believe it's just green tea. Ooh, it's green tea with lemon. Ooh. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. And it's in my little mug that says Dead Thirsty. It is red with black lettering. Now, I think Amie, I had literally been talking about her for like several days, and I'm sorry, we're gonna be talking about Dr. Amie Nicole Harwick. I should definitely say that first, right? So she was into the macabre, which we're gonna get into. So I think she would appreciate this mug. So here we go. I hope I do you right, Amie, and I hope you approve. And yeah, so warning. There may be trigger warnings for you guys. I'm going to be talking about domestic violence, terrifying stalker situations, and just not good times. So I send you positive, loving energy, and let's get to it. Amie Nicole Harwick was born May 20th, 1981. She was a Taurus. Yes, she was a Taurus queen, okay? She grew up in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. But she kind of had a little bit of a rough start, you guys. She grew up in foster care, but she was adopted by Penny and Tom Harwick. She kind of grew up with like these abandonment issues for being in foster care. That's something that has haunted her for a very long time. She had a brother named Chris. But you guys, her adoptive parents were amazing. They were really, really good to her. There was a lot of love and supportive in the home. In fact, they had this awesome tradition called CBD. I know. It actually is Cookie Baking Day, where once a year she would fly back home. I'll tell you where she ends up. But when she was out of town, she would fly back home for CBD. And it was like this family reunion where you just baked cookies, which I'm in. I think that's an adorable. When she grew up around Pennsylvania, in Pennsylvania, she grew up feeling like a misfit, like just kind of awkward, not really fitting in. Her scene was kind of goth rock. And she wasn't really a bad girl, but she would hang out with kind of like the off-kilter kind of people that would just kind of skip class. Nothing too severe, just like minor high school trouble. I mean, I get it, girl. She wore fishnet stockings, combat boots, leopard skirts, and she wore like rebel clothing. Same. Yes. She would change the color of her hair. Like 1 week it's pink, the other, in a few weeks it's purple, and then she would change it to blue. Yeah, same. Absolutely. She loved grunge music, 90s, heavy metal, but she also listened to Tori Amos, so she had a very eclectic music taste. Same, girl. Same. In fact, she has a YouTube channel, you guys. It's still up, and she actually has a playlist for her music videos. And I want to know down in the comments below what music you guys like, because my goodness, her and I's taste, wow, just almost right on the money. She was trained in dance, but she would also go into mosh pits. Yeah, so this lady is a badass. But she gets cooler, okay? She is described as quirky, unique, fun, and very kind-hearted. She loved horror movies, and she was into the macabre, ghost stories, paranormal, and she actually collected taxidermy. I don't do that, but I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I know it's weird. It's all good. She married young, and she married a lead singer of a heavy metal band. I couldn't find out who it was, but I'm guessing it was kind of like a local heavy metal band. She moved to Los Angeles in 2001, but was divorced. Sad. But you know what? It didn't let her get her down. She worked so hard to get through school. I mean, you guys, she was modeling. She was very successful at modeling. She even was a centerfold for Playboy magazine. Her name for Playboy was Amie Nicole. She was a fitness trainer. She was very passionate about fitness. She had her own exercise DVD called Fit to Rock. She was a bartender, a go-go dancer, and a fire eater. Playboy even hired her to play with fire at their parties. So, yeah, she is a hustler. She is working so hard to, like, bring herself through school. Like, she's doing this all on her own. So already, man, like, jack of all trades. It's pretty incredible. Sip of tea. It's awesome. She went to earn a bachelor degree in psychology. She had a master's in clinical psychology, and she received a doctorate in human sexuality. What? Snaps. Snap, snap, snaps. If you're snapping, I can't snap. It's fine. Yeah, she was driven. She was self-sufficient. And not only that, she was a people person. So not only she's gorgeous and intelligent, she's also very kind, which is very rare because Los Angeles isn't known for being the kindest of people. In 10th grade, this is a story from high school. In 10th grade, one day she went to the restroom, as we always do. There was a girl that was crying in the stall. Her name was Sharon. They didn't really know each other, but she was sobbing and crying. And Amie asked her, "Would you like a hug?" And the girl hugged Amie and just kept crying in her arms. And they became the best of friends, her and Sharon. And Amie realized in high school that she wanted to become a therapist. Yeah, so that's like amazingly sweet because, you know, in high school, when a kid's crying or something like that, people walk away or they just pretend they're not there and they don't want to deal with it. But Amie was just there to help someone she didn't even know. And that really just, I don't know, that's her personality. That's like who she was. She was so different and so kind. Tommy Vex, the lead singer-songwriter, I think he's the lead singer of Bad Wolves. I'm not sure if that's the right name, sorry. But she was friends with the lead singer of Bad Wolves, and he did this beautiful kind of like intermission thing talking about domestic violence and to get help and everything, and held up her picture. Yeah, it was a tear-jerking event. I know. What happens to this amazing doctor? nightmares. It is nightmare fuel. Okay. So like I said, Amie was a class all her own. She didn't fit any type of mold. But Tommy Vex, go back to him, lead singer-songwriter, said Amie was this different kind of person. She was fascinated with true crime, Hollywood true crime. She liked visiting cemeteries, Hollywood Forever Cemetery. She was fascinated by Marilyn Monroe, Sharon Tate. She actually bought some of Sharon Tate's bra in an auction, her bras in an auction. I don't know if that's for to wear, or I don't know if it's for like to put in a shadow box. I feel like it's to put in a shadow box, like some kind of collector macabre kind of thing. Now, her friend, according to Dr. Hernando Chavez, he said the darkness made her feel alive and happy. Same. Okay. Well, as she got older, she changed her kind of goth style, wearing all black all the time, but she kind of changed her style to the pinup look from the looks of 1940s to the 1960s. She had an interview in Rolling Stone. Her personal life, she tended to date heavy metal rockers and was also rumored to be dating Marilyn Manson at one time. Her friends, she was actually friends with Dave Navarro, who was in the band Jane's Addiction. Yeah, who was one of the coaches, the guests, or the hosts, or the judges. Wow, fail. The judges of Ink Master. Yeah, one of my favorite reality shows. Let me know in the comments below, what Ink Master do you like? All right. In 2010, she's hustling. She is hustling. School costs money. She has a doctorate, so she is working to pay off school. She is a go-go dancer, and when she's a go-go dancer, she met Gareth Pursehouse, whatever Gareth Pursehouse. Yeah, it just does not roll at the tip of your tongue at all. He was there when she was go-go dancing, working as a photographer for an event. So after the meeting, they started dating. And Gareth was so opposite from the hard rockers that she had dated in the past. Now, he was an IT specialist. He was a photographer and a wannabe comedian, I'm gonna say. No, he was bad, you guys. He was bad. I was watching something that his joke was, what is the most feminine candy bar? Hershey's. Okay, all right. And he even was on, oh no, that's his recent stuff. Yeah, I know. He was on a podcast called Kill Tony, and the podcast is basically for comedians to have a shot. And, sometimes you get called, sometimes you don't. But the time he got called, he was totally unprepared. In fact, he was just making fun of and insulting the host the whole time. In fact, that clip actually went viral, and not for a good reason. Gareth fell really hard for Amie. Like, really hard. Absolutely loved her. And, she enjoyed the attention that she got from Gareth. He was 6'4". I mean, he was kind of like a superficial acting kind of Hollywood face. I don't know, you tell me. People think he's attractive. But there was nothing in his eyes. His eyes were like bland, like soulless. According to her friends, they were bland. He also mirrored a lot. Like if you're like, oh my God, I love strawberry ice cream. And he'd be like, oh, I love strawberry ice cream too. So he did a lot of that kind of. He just kind of tried too hard, I feel, tried to be cool, just wasn't his authentic self. So, yeah. Well, things were kind of going decent until they weren't. In June 2011, Amie filed a restraining order against Gareth. Allegedly, on multiple occasions, he had choked her, suffocated her, pushed her against the wall, kicked her, dropped her to the ground, which means that he would grab her and just let her go. Because remember, he's tall, he's 6'4". and she's not. So he could grab her and just let her go. Then he slammed her head to the ground, restrained her, and punched her. Her request was dismissed because she didn't actually show up to the court to finalize the, the restraining order. Now, before you guys say anything, we're not going to victim blame, okay? We do not know what she was feeling. I could tell you right now she was terrified. Wouldn't you be terrified? Because if you guys don't know, to receive a restraining order, you have to, both parties has to show up. You have to look at each other, and you have to tell each other where each other lives to make sure none of you guys go to those places. It's terrifying. So she didn't go through with it. So she wanted to make the relationship work. I know. Remember I told you about the abandonment issues that she had when she was younger? Well, that's why even if things are bad, she would fight so hard to make it work. Yeah. I'm trying to be positive in a sense. Maybe she thought it was kind of kinky, I don't know. Because I'm going to link down the video below. She did a really good, it's kind of short, but about the BDSM community. And she's talking about it for 6 minutes and the rules and stuff like that. It's actually pretty interesting. But maybe she kind of rationalized it, some of these are very hardcore, but then except the kicking and the slamming of the head, when he choked her and suffocated her and dropped her, maybe he just had crazy desires and she was for it and not. And she honestly thought she could help him, with her being a therapist and all. So the whole relationship was 1.5 years. And she decided, you know what? It's not a happy relationship. I'm out of here. And she finally did another restraining order, but this time she followed through. She stated in writing that she was in a car with Gareth and they got into a fight. And then after they got into the fight, they stopped the car. He dragged her out of the car, gave her a bloody nose, and just left her there on the freeway where he just drove off. What? In the middle of Los Angeles? You leave her by the freeway? Yeah, so that was the last straw for her. I don't blame her at all. You don't ever want anyone to leave you in the middle of the road or on the side of the road, anywhere near the busiest freeway in the United States. Relationships, you have fights. I get that. But you also want to make sure your partner is safe at all times. Yes, you can be mad at them. Things happen. Yes. Okay? But don't ever leave, your girlfriend or boyfriend on the side of the road. What? After the relationship was over, something she couldn't prove, but someone broke into her apartment and smashed her picture frames. Yeah, broke into her apartment multiple times. And also, Gareth sent her a text that said, "Things will get worse." He broke into her social media. He emailed her friends and family. And one instance, her laptop was wiped clean. So she moved on to one of her dreams. She wanted to get Gareth out of her mind and she wanted to go on. So she actually went into family counseling working with juvenile offenders. And she was so great at the job. She helped so many kids and it was just amazing. And she also did rock recovery, which was where musicians were struggling with their mental health, trauma, addiction, etc. She really loved helping people. She also produced, acted in several rock videos. She appeared in independent films. Amie said her life became so much better when she got a cat. Same, boo-boo. Right, my true crime kitty cats? Oh, yes. She fully embraced being the crazy cat lady. She dressed him up in costume. She even gave him an Instagram. His name is Marquis de Shaw, which in some language means noble cat. I believe that's French. For years, she was dealing with a cyber stalker, where someone would just leave cruel messages on gossip sites, evidently cyberbullying. And one day, this stalker found nude pictures of Amie and sent them to her employer. The nude pictures were when she was in Playboy, years before. It was just so long ago. And she was fired from her job. Yeah, I know. Something that she really loved, and someone had to do that. Yeah. She didn't let, it keep her down. She went on. She actually opened up her own practice and started doing relationship therapy. She was helping sex workers, polyamorous relationships, and she would help them without bias. She also was friends with the people in the BDSM kink community, and she would stand up, to those who were criticized in their identities. Yeah, so when she opened up her own place, it was in West Hollywood. She even wrote a book called The New Sex Bible for Women. I want that book. Let me know down in the comments below if you have that book. Now, not only was for women, it also helped men as well. She was also an expert, excerpts of TV shows, podcasts, magazines because of her book. I know. She's pretty incredible. Like what? You're a doctor, but yet you eat fire at night and you're a go-go dancer and you have a cat, you're into true crime, and you help people and you don't judge them. She was very respected, and people, understatement guys, adored her, like adored. In 2016, she came home from being out of town. Not that, she wasn't gone long, but she noticed some of her picture frames were turned around. Her photo albums were actually missing. And Amie, she was convinced it was Garrett. There was no proof. No. I'm not even at universe, I'm not even asking for this, but can you imagine? You know how terrifying that must be? You must feel completely violated. You must feel defenseless. It's awful. In 2017, she was hired to bartend at this big Hollywood party, tons of names, big Hollywood people, and she actually ran into Drew Carey. Drew Carey, the one who, starred in his own sitcom, with Mimi, with the iconic blue eyeshadow. Oh yeah. He was a comedian. He was on The Price of Right. Very, very successful comedian. So he was smitten. When he saw Amie, he was like, who the hell is that? He was just kind of bewitched by her beauty, which I see it, man. I totally do. And so after she was getting off, she was supposed to be meeting this guy who actually was supposed to take her out for her birthday because that was her birthday. And she was talking to Drew, and Drew was like, well, that's lame. Why don't you let me take you out? So when I say take out, guys, I mean he took her out, okay? They started talking, and he actually said, let you and your 10 friends, let's all go to Disneyland. Yes. According to Robert Koshland, which is one of her best friends, they had the best time, he said. Okay, that's cool. What? What an amazing birthday gift. Oh my gosh. So they started dating, and chemistry between Amie and Drew was electric. Okay? Yeah, Amie's friends loved Drew. He was very different from the rocker boyfriends. He was very different than Gareth. And yeah, Drew Carey, according to a 48 Hours interview, said, I fell so hard for her. I felt like finally she's everything I've ever wanted. Yeah, I know. We're not going to keep talking. We're going to go to Sad Town. We are, guys. We are. So definitely grab a comfort item, whatever makes you feel safe. Have a sip of your drink, because it's coming soon. So we're going to back up, because that was a 48 Hours thing. So things started getting really serious with Drew and Amie. I mean, it was like a storybook romance. Yeah, like they would cook dinner together and just randomly start dancing in the kitchen. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. But the more, since he is high profile and he's pretty famous, they started becoming in magazines together and articles. And she would get cyberbullied, and there would be a lot, not only that, but there was a lot of online haters that really, really affected her. They said that she was a gold digger and she wasn't even a real therapist. What the she has a doctorate. She's a PhD. Yeah, people suck. I know. Yeah. They had a really big problem with the age difference, which who the cares? They're grown-ass adults. But Amie was 35 and Drew was 58. They really tried to keep it low profile, their relationship. But things started getting strained. You know, so they just were like, listen, we're going to figure it out. It doesn't matter what people think. I love you. We're staying together. And things were good for a while. In fact, when he, proposed to Amie and they were engaged, he found out the National Enquirer was going to talk about the engagement. He figured, no, I don't want the National Enquirer to talk about the engagement. So he actually had her on the show, The Price is Right, to talk about his fiance. Oh, they were just glowing. She was a little kind of awkward and stuff, but she was smiling and excited. It was beautiful. It was. And he told everyone on Valentine's Day about the engagement on The Price is Right. So the hate didn't stop, which, people, I don't know. I'm going to say something real quickly. It takes a lot for me to make these videos. It does. And maybe I had to wait till I was older to do them. Cyberbullying is real. People hate. But I want to tell you that when people are mean to you, they are not happy people. And remember, hurt people hurt people. So if people are being mean to you, yes, I know it's hard to ignore them, but realize that it's coming in a place of they're not happy. Because happy people do not hurt other people's feelings. Yeah, there you go. There's my TED Talk right there. So she was getting, of course, really in the paparazzi with the engagement. Things were just getting like hot and heavy in the media scene. And, she started seeing, the websites that talk about therapists. She started getting like really messed up ratings and low ratings. And she was so upset. And she felt like it was Gareth. And she felt like Gareth was getting triggered with all the paparazzi photos and the engagement photos. Yeah. So Drew and Amie, they began to fall apart. And they ended the relationship. According to one of her best friends, it was one of the few times in their life where they ever saw Amie was just crumbling, where she was just devastated. Now, they both took it hard. Like Drew and Amie, they took the breakup really hard. Amie again though, she gets back up and just starts like being the most amazing human ever, which I didn't think was like, possible after you get your heart broken. So what she did, she got back out there, not in a relationship. She actually worked for Pineapple. It's called Pineapple Support. And it's basically therapy for online communities that involved the sex industry, sex work. And this is something interesting. I don't know if you guys knew this, but the word pineapple is the #1 safe word. Yep. In the BDSM community or any kind of sexual consensual act. Yeah, pineapple. So she is just keeping busy. She is working with pineapple support. She is helping people. She helped people with all kinds of online communities like webcam girls, people on Pornhub, X-Hamster, the women that are just trying just to get sexual education that, are not judged harshly. So yeah, Dr. Amie, and sorry, I'm not even like talking about what happened to her yet. Sorry. She's just done so much for people. Oh, sorry. And yeah, so she would definitely help people in the sex industry. She would talk, just educate them on how to keep yourself safe and, wouldn't judge you for being in that community. Because it's really hard to find a therapist that doesn't tell you to leave the community or leave your relationship and stuff like that. Like she would help with polyamorous couples, which is basically when you're in a relationship with like multiple people. So she helped a lot of people. Now, Gareth, what's happening on in his life this whole time? Don't exactly know 100%, but I do know that he was on social media and he did a stupid Twitter joke video that, I don't know, I didn't find it funny at all, but he talked about a Game of Thrones scene from season 1. Sorry, you guys, I have not watched Game of Thrones. Do not come after me. Do not, but I have not watched it. Anyway, there's a scene, spoiler alert, that someone gets thrown off the tower. It's like a brother and sister kind of relationship, but one person, one sibling has to throw the other sibling off the tower, and he says something like, "Oh, well, she incested." Instead of insisted, he said incested. Yeah. Mic drop, people. Now, what is very scary is that was a joke, but now when I talk about what happened to her, it's not funny. It's not. It's like it's very sick. We're going to go to January 2020. Amie was actually invited to an award show, an adult award show. I'm not sure if it was AVN, where they do like pornography award shows pretty much. And it was hosted by Stormy Daniels. And Amie was there to be at a panel to talk about mental health and counseling in the sex industry for pineapple support. Now, what sucks is that she wasn't supposed to be there. No, she was filling in, you guys. That night, she wasn't supposed to be there. But she was filling in. Amie, as she walking the red carpet, she looks stunning. She's wearing this beautiful black dress, these black heels, just gorgeous. So she's walking the red carpet and she spots Gareth. I know. Yeah, he's a photographer. He is the photographer at the red carpet event, and she does her best to be mature and not do anything, like just doing her red carpet, doing her own little thing. Well, as soon as she walks off the red carpet, oh, Gareth sees her. Oh, and he makes a damn scene, like a mother baby, okay? He starts sobbing and like screaming at her, "You're a hypocrite. You've ruined my life." And this is around hundreds of people. So she is trying to dismantle the situation. And he starts reciting text messages from 8 years before. I know. What? Yeah. He's crying. He's sobbing. He's going into hysterics. Dude, really? Really? her restraining order is actually expired because they only last 5 years. So he can be around her. Now, there is controversy about this situation. Do you think that he followed her to see her at the event? Because the way he acted, I don't think he knew he would see her there at the panel. So when he saw her, it brought up everything that he felt for her. Like, now you would think Amie would like freak out, run away, you know, scream for help or something. No, she went into therapist mode. She went into straight up Dr. Amie mode. She actually tried to calm him down, and then in the middle of the panel, he whispered in her ear that they needed to talk. So she went and talked to him for like 45 minutes during the event, and she talked him down until he calmed down that night. Now, after the event, her and her friends went to a diner, and she told them, I'm getting more mace. I'm going to change my locks. I'm going to get a security system. Now, one of her friends offered his place, but she said she felt safe with her roommate. She had a roommate, Mike. So, you know, the roommate Mike is actually really good friends with Robert Koshland. So, yeah, there's a lot of trust and everything. Oh, man. God dang it. She told him that she wanted to share her phone location. And she said, if anything happens to me, it's Gareth. So her friends were kind of freaked out, you know, and they said, please renew the restraining order. And again, she says, you know, there's no proof. Yeah. Remember the first restraining order? I don't know if I skipped over that, but they wouldn't, you know, like, because she wasn't there, if that's true. They also, there was like no proof. There was no evidence of everything that she said. So they really, like, bottom line, guys, they make it really, really hard for domestic violence victims. Like, she's doing everything right. She is. 2 weeks later, she calls her parents and has some pretty odd requests. She requested she wanted an open casket at her funeral, and she wanted a really elaborate headstone and gave them details. Now, you know, when I said that she's in the macabre, you know, kind of in like the dark side and stuff like that, a little fascination with death, maybe the parents didn't really think anything of it in a way, you know, but man, Amie must have felt something. She started wearing like rosaries. She started like really, I mean, I don't know if she had a premonition or a dream. Man. She actually wrote an email to herself. She wrote an email to herself documenting what had happened at the event and how Gareth acted. And just basically her feelings and everything about the whole thing. She just wanted to have documentation in case anything happened to her. So this is right before Valentine's Day. I believe it's 2 days before. She, out of the blue, texts Drew Carey. And she's like, hi, I would like for us to get together and talk about forgiveness. And Drew responded with, I would love to do that. I love you. Sorry. Sadly, guys, he never got the chance. The morning of Valentine's Day, right around Valentine's Day, she woke up early and she went on a hike with one of her really good friends. And she put on a red cardigan because she's like, it's Valentine's Day. And she was with her really, like, her best friend, and they were walking around, and she was kind of being like a tour guide and like showing her where certain people, lived and talked about the community. And it was like a really great hike. You know, they just like walked around and then they went to brunch together. She was really excited. She was actually invited to a burlesque show. I love burlesque shows. Are you kidding me? I saw Dita Von Teese. Amazing. You have to see her. Put her on the bucket list. So yeah, as I said, me and her, if we ever met in LA, if we literally ever met in LA and I run into her and if she lets me, we would have been the best of friends. Straight up. Maybe this is why it's hit me so hard. Because she was so rare and so kind. All right. So they went to the burlesque show and had a great time. And before she went to the burlesque show, she wore a pink velvet dress, black knee-high boots, a black leather jacket, and a rosary. Nice. Her hair was in a top knot. She looked absolutely stunning. Stunning. Yeah, the burlesque show went great. Everything was awesome. In fact, after the burlesque show, she was invited to an after party. But Amie, I forgot to tell you, she didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she didn't do any drugs. So she goes, no, I'm good. I'm gonna go, I was gonna have some tea with my friends. Yeah, guys, tea. That's for you, Amie. So she politely declined, and like I said, she wanted to go have tea with her friends. They went to the Nomad, and they took some really cool pictures on this green couch. So, you know, they left, and she left around 1. And when she was in her garage, she texted her friend, send me the pictures from the green couch. Which is like, how many of you guys had pictures with your girls or your friends and you're like, send me those pictures, you know? At 1 a.m., she lived on the 3rd floor of this really nice Hollywood home. And her roommate is Michael. Now, I'm going to go to the scene. What she did not know was Gareth was hiding in her room. Around 9 p.m., the roommate heard like a crashing sound. Like he said it was kind of like a broken plate. But now we know that it was Gareth breaking into the home. And by this time, she did get some kind of a security system. She got a Ring camera and stuff like that. So, you know, the roommate, Michael, he just doesn't think anything of it. He goes, oh, the cat, you know, maybe the cat knocked something down. So he's sleeping. Amie arrives home around 1. And what's really scary about this was when Gareth broke in, like 8 p.m. or 9, she didn't come back until 1. So he waited 4 hours for her. The roommate then hears a blood-curdling scream. And he's yelling, and he's hearing her scream, and then it's muffled. And the roommate is so scared. Like, man, people are so harsh to this roommate. But again, you don't know what you would do in this situation. Even though I asked my partner what he would do, and he said, I'd rather die fighting than to let my roommate die. And I'm like, damn, okay. One of the reasons why, you know, I'm with you, because you're a badass. But she's screaming. And he screamed at him, let go, you motherfucker, or something like really loud, but it did not deter what was happening to Amie in the room. So Michael is in a panic. He's trying to stop this, and he lost his phone. Like, he couldn't find his phone, so he left and went to the neighbors and they didn't even like answer their door until they went to another neighbor's. Then they answered. They called 911, and it is, oh my God, the 911 dispatcher, I'm not knocking on 911 dispatchers. I know a few of them, but I know that they would not sound patronizing and mean. And he called not once, but twice. The second time, he's like, where are they? Get him in here. Get them here. My roommate is being attacked. And I don't know if they didn't take him seriously or something like that. When the police arrived, you guys, oh my, no urgency at all. None. Like Michael, like they have the body cam online, guys. It is horrible. Like you see these cops saying, calm down, sir. Calm down. What's happening? He goes, my roommate is getting attacked. Like he is just trying so hard. And they're like, calm down, sir. And he locked himself out or something from the back door or the front door or something, because he had to climb the fence, and he got like scratched and abrasions, the roommate, to get back in to the house. So the cops are climbing over the fence, and yeah, by then she's gone. The attack is gone. The attack was 6 minutes. Gareth was hiding in her room, I'm thinking closet, and he had a syringe full of nicotine. I don't know what the heck he was planning for that, but he is saying that he went to her room to go kill himself with the nicotine in front of her. Yeah, I don't believe that. So she fought, because he had Gareth had scratches on him. Like she fought for dear life. And then he started strangling her. Like when she was screaming, blood curling, screaming and he strangled her, and she got unconscious. And then what he did was take her body and throw her off the balcony. When emergency services arrived, again, there was no urgency, and their word is because we thought we were looking at a corpse, but when they went closer, she was still moving. She fell 3 stories on her face. And there's, I watched the trial. It's on YouTube. It's on Law and Crime. I watched the whole thing, and it's devastating because you see witnesses and like, the last person to see Amie and talk about Gareth's character and everything, because like after that happened, he booked it. He booked it out of there. He actually knocked down his statue in the backyard to escape. And then 45 minutes later, he went on a Tinder date. Yeah, he was texting a woman, hello, sunshine. Fucking psycho. She died because of the injuries. Paramedics said that she had deformity. She was face down, but they put her face up and her eyes were bulging, and she was squishy, per se. Like what should have been bone, there was no bone. So she broke almost every bone, and she was alive. And she fought to live, but she succumbed to her injuries. That is a horrible way to go. Horrible. Like, I was talking to my partner about this. I'm like, how did he drop her? And it really freaked me out because I'm like, oh my gosh, did he hold her like when you go over a threshold on your wedding day and he just dropped her off the balcony and she landed right on her face? Because remember, when he was strangling her, she had brain damage. When you lose oxygen, you start to have brain damage. So she was unconscious, but when she was on the ground, you know, she was still moving. Like her fingers were still moving. Even though now the paramedics said, we're like, we thought we were looking at a dead woman. You know? Extremely sad. And if you guys want to watch the Law and Crime actual trial, it is traumatizing, especially when the lawyers are like humiliating her friends, because her friends are in the sex industry. Who cares? And they literally say, they make them feel humiliated for what? It's awful. And then the lawyer was drilling the roommate as if he killed her, and was like, why didn't you try to break down the door? Why didn't you do that? And honestly, he said, I have sciatica. And they're like, well, what's sciatica? And I'm thinking, you know what sciatica is. He said, I got a pinched nerve on my back, and I didn't want two people to die. I didn't want to die. I didn't know what was in that room. And honestly, you guys, Gareth is 6'4". He's big. He's like 230 pounds, 6'4". He would mess you up. And that roommate, if he tried to fight, maybe he would have killed him too and got away with it. So I feel that let's take a positive side to this, that he survived to tell what happened to Amie. Even though I'm sure he will regret it for the rest of his life. And if you guys want to watch the phone call, you know, with freaking Garrett's so-called friends or something, the jail call, he is so grandiose, narcissistic douchebag. I can't believe that Amie was ever into him. I can't. Oh yeah, I forgot to say his birthday, but who cares? It said he's a Cancer, and he was born early July 1978. Yeah. A Cancer. So the trial is still going. They have another court case December 2023. I will keep you guys updated because I will be want to know what's going on. So her friends, Robert Koshland, he had this really touching, don't want to say monologue because it wasn't even acting. I'm just saying like soliloquy? No. Sorry. It's basically like when you're talking to people and you just say how you feel, and they were like, well, how are you feeling? Like, how do you make you feel? And he just said like, I keep thinking she's alive. He's like, I have her cat, Marquis, and he's like, it's the kind of situation where you have to get a surgery, like you have to, but you're doing everything you can to not get that surgery because you don't want reality to hit. Because he's like, I'm going to be catatonic. He's like, I still hear her voice every day. They have a GoFundMe page because her friends knew that she loved Hollywood so much that they're actually trying to get her in the Hollywood cemetery, like a really nice plot of land. So there's a GoFundMe. I'll link it in the description below. And they want to make a statue of her, like in the form of Aphrodite, and have a cat with her. Isn't that awesome? Oh my gosh. Yeah, all I'm thinking about, I mean, I saw it too. They're asking for $175,000. He says it's not the statue that costs a lot of money. It's the plot of land. Okay, Drew Carey. Open your purse. Okay? All right. Oh man, oh God, I shouldn't say purse. Sorry. Open your bag. Yes. Dave Navarro, who actually knows, who knew Amie. Come on, man. Cough it up. We need to get this statue made. But I think it's up to 9,000. And I never, I know we're all in a horrible situation. This is not the best economic, what's going on in life. but I just want to let you know that it's all temporary and it will get better. I know it will. Um, but yeah, I'm going to link some links in the description below. Definitely check them out. Even Amie's YouTube channel, she has these like little videos of like little relationships and stuff. And she's adorable, and I'm sure you guys would love her too. And check out her music videos. I found a couple of things in music that I didn't even know about. Like, I'm a big fan of Butch Walker. I've been listening to him since like middle school. And apparently he did this awesome song 8 years ago called Bed on Fire. I'm obsessed with that song. I showed my partner and he was just like, this song is awesome. I was like, I know. It's dark though. It's dark, violent, and haunting. But yeah. I don't know how to end this. I don't know how to end any of mine. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for hanging out, guys. I'm going to put the domestic violence hotline above me. Thank you so much. Please know that there is a way out. And let's all, manifest, pray, whatever you believe, that Amie's Law will go through and there will not be an expiration date for restraining orders, and there will be harsher laws on stalkers. Thank you, guys. Please know that you are loved and you are cherished. And remember, you are doing better than you think.